Do you want to get canceled now, Sierra? How's this work for you?
Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of the Coven podcast. Before we get started, we wanted to invite you all to pause this quickly, go grab a drink, whatever kind you prefer, and hopefully you can find like a nice comfy cozy spot and drink with us while we talk about today's episode because it's going to be a good one.
It is. Cheers, guys!
Okay, so today's episode is titled 90's Halloween. And when we started this podcast, we brainstormed a lot of ideas. And I have to say, this was one of the ones that we were all the most excited for because we are a bunch of 90's babies. So we're going to get into a bunch of different topics that involve the 90's. But before we do, we wanted to just quickly thank you all so much for the love on episode 1.
Oh my gosh. It was so sweet.
You guys are... I literally read some of those comments and I was like,
yeah, we
okay,
were like,
you want to hug? You want to hug?
I
You want to hug me?
know.
We're going to hug? Okay, we're good.
I know. We're in a
It just
group
really, I think it warmed all of our hearts because the love was just so strong and that's what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
We just want, I don't know.
Yeah, we want everyone to feel like cozy and comfy and welcomed here. And, you know, we're in a group chat and like we were constantly like screenshotting and copying the comments and the DMs and the there were so many shares. We were just so grateful.
This is a judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
Judgment-free zone.
But I think to hear that you guys felt that, and a lot of people were like, oh my God, I can't wait for Wednesdays now, and just blown away. We know the spooky community is like the most badass on the internet, but I think we still were just shocked at
I love the comment where somebody said it was like a safe space. And like
I love that too.
I almost cried at that. I was like, that's the goal. Like, you can be as weird as you want. Be as weird as you want. I'm not going to judge you. I'm weirder than you. I promise.
Exactly.
We're going to get weird here a lot. So.
We're going to get really weird. Well, maybe not today, but
yeah.
Well, I mean,
maybe.
Yeah.
Within the limits, because I got to be reined in a little bit sometimes. So.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll all have our episodes. That's perfect. But we had to say thank you because, again, it just kind of like took it to a whole different level. I mean, the amount of people who watched the first episode, all of that just has blown our minds. So a huge thank you. We love each of you who are watching, and I hope you'll just subscribe and continue. And we're here for you every Wednesday.
We love you guys. And I love you guys too.
And I love you guys. My best.
Damn, you guys are stuck with me. That's weird.
Oh, we're stuck.
It's perfect.
We all know
that's what we wanted. Joke's on you.
So
to go.
But wait, I just wanted to say really quick too.
Yeah.
In the last episode, I just want to address my face. I've talked to these two about it. When I'm like concentrating, I look bored and like I'm not in it. I swear to God, I was
just say it. You have resting bitch face.
I have resting bitch face, and I didn't know it until like I'm on camera listening to other people.
I have resting bitch face.
Yeah, she just didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know, and then I'm watching back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look so disinterested, but like I wasn't.
Hi, my name's Corin, and I hate awkward eye contact, and I don't like looking at the camera, so I'm trying.
We're all trying.
So quick side note, and then we'll jump into the episode. That was our first episode, so we appreciate all the love, but obviously there were things like all three of us were like, oh, that, but we've never done a podcast before, so hang in there with us. Things will be like tweaked and changed a little bit as we go because we're just learning how to do this, so. But
we also are in the process of trying to be on an actual like streaming thing like Spotify too.
Ooh,
so that you guys can listen to us on the go. Ghouls on the go, right? Like, I don't know.
Ooh, I love that.
We'll see where we land. But like
someone use that because I want to use that.
Wait, what? Like ghouls?
On the go. I like
ghouls
that.
On the go.
So to jump back into today's episode, because I know we are so excited for this, we're going to be touching on a lot of things Halloween just from the 90's. So I actually just had on side note, 90's Halloween commercials. I wanted to tell you guys this because if you're like me and you're obsessed with anything that makes you feel like nostalgic, if you go to YouTube, you can literally say or type in Halloween 90's commercials and you will get videos that are like
they're so fun. Oh my God, it's so fun.
And you can just
I need to do that.
Life. It's so good. They just have like all of them together. It's so good. So anyways, we're going to be talking today though. This is part 1. We will have a part 2 that dives more into like the pop culture of the 90s, things like that. This episode is going to be mostly like our childhood costumes, our favorite childhood memories, what trick-or-treating was like when we were little, all the things that make us feel so good inside.
All the things, all the feels, all the things.
All the feels. So
should we get one little bite of feels right now?
Oh yeah. Show it. Just give me.
I want one.
If that doesn't instantly make you think of the chicken nuggets dressed up as costumes, we can't be friends.
Or the glow in the dark.
I've got to find the chicken nuggets. I have them. I've got to pull them out of storage.
My mom has the chicken nuggets.
Like, before I had all the food allergies, because as you get older.
Yeah.
Well, I literally used to have all of like the chicken nugget people who had like all these different costumes. The mummy, the witch. And there was like one piece, and then they came in 2 other pieces, and you put them on top of each other to connect them.
Best. I
had all of them. Well, actually, I couldn't find the I don't think I had the Frankenstein one, but that was legit. Has mine
where God, they're so good. And we're gonna
that was like the thing in the 90s was that and the Beanie Babies, like the whole like Beanie Baby craze and everything, and that was like part of it. Yeah, the little things, you guys. The little things.
The things that matter. We just don't have anymore. So we're going to touch on that next episode in part 2, along with like our favorite movies that came out in the 90s, our favorite character from the 90s, all that stuff. But for today's episode, I'm going to kick things off with Sierra, and you're going to be seeing some pictures popping up on the screen. We're really excited. We all did some digging and found some actual photos from the 90s of us at Halloween.
Oh my God.
I want you to talk about your favorite costume from the 90s growing up, because we've seen photos and she was such a cutie. Go ahead.
Thanks. So my favorite costume, actually, my mom, I touched on it last episode. She did a lot of sewing, and like she would make all of our costumes, and she made me like a legit Snow White outfit. Like I would go to like Disney on Ice and people would be like, "Are you the real Snow White?" I'm like, I'm like 7 or 8. Like, no,
you still look like
you look like Snow White. Like you do.
The fair skin and the dark hair, but like it was like she made it. She was like, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right, and it's gonna look legit. And I can't find any photos of it, but like she and I are gonna do some serious digging. So by the time we come back for part 2, I will have that photo.
Good.
But that was my favorite costume. My other favorite costume was my own creation. I'm wearing like a little face mask and like a turtleneck and a white dress. And my mom was like, "What are you?" And I was like, "I am an alien princess."
I mean,
I love
those are the best princesses. So
best.
And like, so it was Ohio, like I touched on last episode too, and so it was chilly, so I had to wear like a turtleneck, and so it's like this green like turtleneck. But that was my other favorite costume, and I think it was because I had creative control and I just like grabbed things that I had. So,
it's so funny, because I was just about to say that it's interesting that was your favorite, and that you, even at that age, were like, "I got this, Mom," because if you're not following Sierra yet, you need to. She's one of the most creative souls I've
had. Like girl, like your makeup, just makeup, everything.
But it's like, funny. It just like shows
crap.
You.
It's here I am trying to just figure out how to put lashes on, and she's like,
Corinne was texting us in the group chat about how she like took forever for these lashes. I'm like, you got this, you got this.
I don't. Oh my God, the glue got stuck on my damn eyeball.
We're like frantically sending advice, like, let it dry. You
who gets lash glue stuck to their eyeball? Like, who does that?
Well, speaking of the girl who does that, I'm gonna ask you now, girl with the stuck lashes. What was your favorite costume from childhood in the 90s?
Mine?
Mm-hmm.
All right. My pretty pink princess one.
I was so she sent a bunch of photos in, and I was like, I swear to God, if she doesn't talk about the damn princess.
So
I've got to look back at this really fast. I need to be in it.
It's
fully
so
immersed.
Good.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I was a lot of sass.
Yeah, you're serving.
So my favorite costume was my pretty pink princess one. I actually have 2 of them. And I remember the little hat, and I had little jewelry that went with it. And I actually buried the jewelry in the backyard, and I digged it up like not too long. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Why?
What?
Do you think I know why I do things that I do? Like, do you think I know why these things happen? No.
Oh my God.
No. So yeah. So you're gonna see the photo of me with all the sass with my pretty pink princess
I love
costume.
the photo.
It's
And
so cute.
that, I don't know why, like that one just like sticks in my head. However, the next one that's my favorite is my Dalmatian one. And the reason that it's my favorite is because I have a hard time finding pants and shirts that fit my limbs. So I grew up wearing floods. Like, if you look at that photo, I'm so awkward because I cannot find pants to fit my legs. I swear to God, they think that women are supposed to be only 5'2" and like 5'5". I'm 5'8". I could not find. I'm 5'8". I can't. Like, I can't find.
Oh, I have the same problem. I'm 5'8" as well.
Right. So
it's hard.
If you look at that, if you take a look at that, if you take a gander at that photo,
right here somewhere,
I'm wearing floods.
You know what? I feel like, and maybe, I don't know if you feel this way too, Corinne, but as I've gotten older, like I kind of like when it hits at my ankle, my pants, because it feels comforting, because it's like that's what all we knew growing up.
So that's why I literally wear socks, like those big socks in my photos. That's why I got into them, because I'm like, well, if I can't find pants that match my ankles and my feet, I'm just gonna wear socks.
Oh my God, that's I can't believe you two are the same height, because 5'8's like that's a decent height, you know.
Well, it's not even just that though. It's my arms are ridiculous.
Yeah, you're like long, just in general. Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how hard it is to find women's clothes? Even like this. So when you're looking at the photo, clearly the top doesn't fit me either.
Well, it's always hard. And let's not get started on like sizing, all that. Yeah. We go through a lot. Yeah. I'm like 5'4" on a good day, so that'll be
on a good day.
You're gonna stand next to it. I love you.
You're gonna have to be in the middle every time.
And I cannot wear
heels. Actually, the last
so I'm
thing
gonna be like on my tippies.
Is, the Dalmatian photo. So I was in a parade when I was in Catholic school. Yes, I was in Catholic school. Probably explains a lot. Anyways, I was in a parade and I had to dress up like 101 Dalmatians. My mom bought me this outfit, and then she put like all these spots on me. And I remember just loving the ears were my favorite part.
Oh,
they're so cute.
I get that though, because I still like that. Like, hello, Snapchat. Everyone likes a good pair of like.
Oh yeah,
ears on
the puppy filter was massive when it first came out.
What was yours, Jess? What was yours?
So mine. Okay, my very favorite. Mine are like not exciting, but my most favorite was a witch costume that I will be sharing.
Of course,
of
course, it was. I'll drink to that, Jess. I knew that was coming.
I know. I'll drink to that too. Oh, hit my mic.
Did you spit up? Oh
watching. So yeah, the witch costume was my favorite. I guess because it was just so like classic, and I have been a witch so many times. It's like always my go-to, because like I just want to be a witch. So every Halloween I'm like, yeah, that's easy. I want to be a witch. Now, like nowadays I like latex it up, like liquid latex, and like I like the blood and the gore.
You're so good with that.
Yeah, you are really good with that.
You and Sierra are so good with that.
Thank you.
I couldn't imagine.
I love it. Like any costume
really good
better when you're bloody. So like but I think I like that one so much because it was so traditional. It was like orange and black and all that. And another one that I don't have a photo of, but I love, I guess because it's like tied to a memory. But I was Cinderella one year, and I'm going to tell a story later about the year that I was Cinderella. But there's a whole home video. So like I don't have a photo, but the VHS.
You have a video? I want to see the video.
I know, I got to get my mom to like convert it.
Yeah. Yes,
it's just that quick clip. Yes, like that whole Halloween was the best, and you'll hear why like later. But
so like, roll the tape.
I know, Mom. She's gonna watch this and be like, I'm sorry. It's somewhere. But there's like this clip in there of my dad. And I'm like by the door, and the trick-or-treaters are coming, and we're like giving out candy, and I'm Cinderella, and he's like picking me up and spinning me around. And I don't know, I like always have that memory, and I'm always like,
Oh my god,
Like
that is so sweet.
I love that. That's really cute.
It sounds like morbid to even think about this. Hopefully, like a long time from now. But like that's one of those things that like I'll hold with me forever. Like one time, like later in life when he's not here, I don't know. It's just that was such
That's
good.
not morbid. That's not morbid. That's a core memory.
Yeah.
Something that you have, and I don't think that's morbid at all. I think that there are pieces of other people that are in our lives that we remember specific parts of, and for a reason, because when they're gone for whatever reason, we're going to still have it. I don't think that's morbid at all.
Yeah, it's like those moments that are like ingrained in your brain, you know.
Yeah.
I don't even have a photo of it, but the Cinderella year was just like one of those really good 90s Halloweens. I was probably like,
I gotta see it because I had a Cinderella dress, but I couldn't fit into it.
Oh, I did love
a
good
dress. I mean, that's what you get for being a fat kid. So
yeah, stop.
Oh my god.
I always laugh though because like Salem, my daughter, is so like me now too, because she's like she's so in love with like Halloween and all of that, but she's still like girly and she's obsessed with Elsa and you know whatever else. So
she's adorable.
Oh,
she is.
Every time I'm like, I don't need a girl baby. I look at photos and I'm like, I need a girl. No. No.
I love having a girl so much because I think I've told you guys this, but like, you know, I have 2 boys too, and they just don't notice those things. Like if I get all done up to like go out somewhere, I will leave my room and she goes, Mama, wow.
You know what?
I'm like,
can't. Oh my god.
Jess, I wish I could say that, but I got ready today and I did something to my hair, I guess.
I noticed. I said in the text.
And because I never do my hair, and Luke goes, turn around, let me see.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, like you can even ask Josh. He's like, turn around, let me see. And I'm like, well, it's really not. I said I got roots that have to be done and everything. And I'm telling him, he's like, it looks pretty, Mom. He's also watching Encanto, so he could have been talking about that. So
I love Lukey boy. He is such a sweetie. Oh my god.
Yes. So I don't like. Where's he come from? Did somebody drop him off at my door? Like, how's this work?
No, because he looks exactly like you, so he's definitely yours.
He's like a twin. It's like
he is your twin.
All right, so Corinne, I want to move on to the next topic too. So speaking of costumes, now we're all in our costumes, right? Let's go there. We're in the 90s. It's 1995.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm 6. How old are you guys?
6.
6. I was going to say you're 6.
Yeah.
Little young ass.
4.
Yeah. Okay. We're in our costumes and we're getting ready to go trick-or-treating. So now I want to hear, Corinne, kind of like what trick-or-treating was like for you. I feel like neighborhoods differ so much and everyone had kind of different experiences. What was
so I actually have a lot of favorite things that I liked about my neighborhood. So I didn't really believe it or not, I was actually like very scared about everything because Halloween was, I mean, we decorated at our house and everything, but it wasn't like a really big thing. So I had, you know, sneaking down to watch horror movies and everything when I was older. But when I was little, we just had like a couple decorations around the house and we had like spider webs on the front porch and everything. But there was this house that was probably like 5 or 6 houses down from us, and maybe more than that, like 7. And they were huge into Halloween. They did the whole garage up. They had the purple and blue lights. They had like the fog machine going. They had like tables set up and everything. And I remember this is like a core memory for me. Multiple times going down there and being like, I'm not going in that garage. Like, I don't want to. Like, no way. Even from like 4 to like 10, I was like, no, I'm not going in that garage. No. That was the best garage I've ever been in for Halloween. Like growing up, that was like the house to go to. So one year they had this like table and it had this like huge like serving platter on it, and you would like lift up the platter and it was like the dad's like head on it, but it was like he was sitting underneath the table. Yeah, he was like sitting underneath the table and his like head was in it, and so stuff like that. And my neighbors really just got right into it. And so initially I didn't like going to those houses at all. And then eventually when I realized like how exciting it was, I was like, we gotta go to that house. We gotta go. Let's go. Like, we gotta go to that house. But I had to actually convince my little brother to continue to dress up with me. And I actually have a photo of him dressed as a wizard, and my mom made a costume for him. But anyways,
that reminded me of Max.
And this you can see in this one.
Yeah.
His look of shock.
So
the shock on his face of having to dress up with me. Trick-or-treating was awesome in my neighborhood. So my favorite houses were the ones that they pulled the screen down on their door. So like those screen doors, they pulled the screen down on their door, so that they were like sitting in front of the screen door area. It was down, and they had like the bowl of candy, and they would just like talk to you, and it just felt like really homey. And then we always knew the houses that had the full candy bars. We always knew the houses that had the drawing kits. Like there were some houses that didn't do like candy. They did what were those cush balls? Those cush ball things, and like the stickies, like those like sticky wall things you'd like throw at the wall.
Oh man, those were so fun.
So, so we always knew which houses had those, but I always made sure that I went to the house that was down the street to like build up my courage. Like eventually I was like, I'm gonna go in that garage. I got this. I totally got this. And yeah.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Talk about one of those good memories. Yeah, it stays with you.
Their house was so cool. Like
the best.
Fog machine. Like they had a whole like dining table, and like his head was under a plant. It was so cool. I loved it. And that's like the best. Right ingrained in my brain. It's awesome.
I love a good fog machine, honestly. Right? Like you could do literally the bare minimum, but if you have a fog machine, it makes it cool.
It's instantly spooky.
They still do everything Halloween, and my favorite is they have skeletons in their front yard, and they will change the skeletons like every week to doing something else. Like they were mowing the lawn, and then they were like, it's so awesome. I love that. I love that stuff so much.
They belong here in this.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
All right, Sierra, what about you with trick-or-treating?
Yeah, so so the neighborhood that I lived in at the time in the 90s, we would have like a group of like all the neighborhood kids. Like we would like get together, and like the parents would get together, and we'd all kind of, not all the kids, but like we had like our friends from like our street, and we'd kind of go like door to door. And I don't know, it was always so fun because it's like you meet up with everyone. It's like everyone sees their costume all at once. It's like, oh my gosh, or whatever. And so like that initial like
I literally just like had like a memory like those.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It was so fun to just like see everybody's costumes all at once, and then you go through the neighborhood. And like I always liked when it was like, you know, dusk, and then it's like getting a little darker, and then like as you're going it's like pitch black outside, and it's just like, but it was funny because like living in Ohio, and you guys might have had this too, there were some times where it was snowing on Halloween.
Snowing on Halloween.
So my mom would be so mad. The year I was Snow White, I had a jacket on because it was snowing, and my mom was trying to drive me from house to house. I had a dopey doll.
Cute. Oh my god!
I was like trying to like play the part.
Cute, though.
Yeah, she's such a good mom.
But she was like, "It's snowing," like, and yeah. So that was really cool. But there was this one house that I remember that was like the cool house. Like they didn't do like a ton of like decorations or anything like that, but like the people were super nice, and like you would go up to the house, and they had like a platter, right? And they would be like, all right, pick whatever you want. And it would be like candy, but also like little trinkets and stuff. I remember I got a gold coin. It was probably like, you know, a fake gold coin. It's probably from the Dollar Tree.
Like that's so cool.
Her head,
but like as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Right in the bag.
You can buy so many things with that. You can buy everything,
like,
with that.
I'm rich. Yeah. But that was like the cool house. And then, you know, like you said, you'd know exactly which houses had the full-size candy bars, you know, which ones were giving out like raisins, and you're like, skip that one. I remember like being brave enough, me and one of my friends, to like go up to one of the houses, and we're like, trick or treat, smell my feet. And it was like, I feel like that was like quintessential 90s Halloween.
You actually said that?
Yeah,
I said it to some man, and like he like laughed and like threw the candy in the bag, and I ran. I was like,
wait.
It was like ding dong ditch. She's like, I gotta go.
I was gonna say some man like no white vans, right? Or anything. Like
no white
vans. Okay. I'm like, all right, girlfriend.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just cool to just be with like, I have 2 younger sisters. I don't know if I mentioned that in the first episode. My middle sister is like 3 years younger. Today's actually her birthday. Like, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Cheers, happy birthday.
It's her birthday. But she and I are closer in age, so she and I had a lot more like trick-or-treat memories than me and my youngest sister, who's like 7 years younger than me. But it was just fun going around with them and my parents and then like the kids in the neighborhood. So it was fun. I loved it.
I love that.
All right. So Jess, what was your experience trick-or-treating in the 90s like?
Oh my God. So it's funny. It actually, as you were talking, I was like, oh, there's a lot of similarities there because I think the thing that stands out most about trick-or-treating when I was younger in the 90s was that we lived in a townhome community and there were so many freaking kids. Like my brother developed all of his best friends there. Like Glenn lived in a townhouse, like just
that's so cute.
Oh
my
gosh.
sorry, but like that is so freaking cute.
We all like there were like 40 kids. So kind of like that same feel as you. It was a really big deal because there were so many kids. Everybody decided to like decorate and just trick-or-treating was such a big deal. Like my brother, he's 6 years older than me, and him and his friends would like take like pillowcases and like go around and then go around again and then go around again.
The pillowcases were huge.
Yeah. Oh my God. So it was just a really big deal. Like my mom, I've already touched on my mom. She like has this way of like making holidays magical. So to me, it was always a big deal anyways, but having all of those kids in this little neighborhood, and also side note, if you grew up in a townhome community, you already know that is it when it comes to trick-or-treating, because it's like bam, 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 bam. We're so close together. You get
so cool.
Dang, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome. Like
it
so
was really
close together. So like you're getting like double the houses pretty much. Like double the
you're like walking at all and you're getting all the goods. And it was funny what you said too. We did have one man across the street. His name was Fred. He's not with us anymore. That's the only reason I'm saying his name.
I'm sorry.
We loved him. But he was a dentist and he gave out toothbrushes. But like we loved him. So everyone went and got
That's awesome.
Every year. Yeah.
That is pretty awesome, actually.
It was really
awesome.
It was really cool. And then the only other thing I wanted to say on this topic, because I just have to for all the people watching, because I know you'll get the love of this, but my aunt, so I have a few of them, one of my aunts in her neighborhood, this was cool, we went one year, every year, no matter what, on Halloween night, she had, I guess they were friends, they must have been friends, there was 3 men, one dressed up as Michael, our fave, all of our faves, and then one man was Freddie and one was Jason, and they would like literally just be out on Halloween night in full like character mode, like for no other reason, but they would do it every year. So like Michael Myers was the best, of course, because he literally walked like the shape, so he would be just there, and like you would move on and you'd be like somewhere else and he'd be like there, and then Freddie would like to run like like in character. So that was really cool too.
That's
another
amazing.
And I didn't go there a lot.
That's amazing.
So that's cool. And
that's
I've always
amazing.
that with me because I'm like, you know what? When I'm older and my kids don't want to trick or treat anymore, like I want to do that. I want to go.
Yeah.
We'll touch on Salem so much, but like when you're in Salem and like everyone's like fully in characters, like I want to be like that in my neighborhood.
I just pictured you as a 5'4" Michael Myers.
I'll do it. I'll be Chucky.
I love
oh my God, Jess, you're not going to want to stand next to us in heels.
I can't even wear heels. Like I literally might be like a girly girl, but I cannot rock a pair of heels. So when we're all together, stay tuned when we're all together.
Okay.
Like on my tips.
All right. I'll wear
just rock the short girl. You know what? I don't mind being a short girl.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
Booties, and I'm just going to be short. It's going to be like this the whole time.
There's a beauty in being like friends with tall people because guess what? No one's going to mess with you.
That's right.
I know that's right. Plus your mouth, so I'm good.
And you guys saw my RBF in the last episode. Nobody messes with me. I was like, why does nobody mess with me? And now I know.
Your face, Corin's mouth, which I love, but like I feel safe. I feel safe because of that mouth. You know what I mean? I do. I'm like, she's got it.
No one's gonna mess with you. No.
Okay, so for the final thing we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about either something that is a funny or embarrassing story that happened to you in the 90s during Halloween or fall time. And Jess, would you like to start?
Yeah. Okay, I'm really excited for this story because I miss my pet that was in this. Okay, so I think we're going to throw a photo up, but like a little side note, it's my brother with the animal because I couldn't find it. Okay, so one of my favorite memories ever, it was actually the year that I was Cinderella, so I think that's part of why this was such a good year for me. And I should preface this by saying this was the 90s. People weren't quite as sensitive, so nobody cared about this back then. Like they, you'd be like sued these days for this.
Back then, God.
I know, we're getting so old.
Okay.
But whatever year that was, I'll have to look up exactly what year it was. But we had a pet python growing up. His name was Pete the Python. We were so original with the name.
Peter the Python. I love it.
Peter Pumpkin Eater.
I love when animals have human names. That's my favorite.
I know, I do too. Like my dog is Mabel. I do too. I love that too. And he was so cool. Like we all loved him. My like preschool interview, like I got home from the first day of preschool. My mom, there's like a VHS of her asking me how my day was, and Pete's just like all around my neck. Like I love snakes. So anyways, so for that specific, they're so cute.
I want one so bad.
Oh my God, they're such cool pets. So for that specific Halloween, we always had this like big wicker like basket that my mom put the candy in for the trick-or-treaters. So my dad decided to put Pete in the basket, and my mom like recorded with the candy because like
really, oh my God,
big VHS back then, like the big what is that called?
Tape recorder.
A video camera, and it was
camcorder,
tape recorder, video camera.
Video camera.
Yeah, camcorder. Yeah,
camcorder. Yeah, shoulder, like those big ones back in the day. So she recorded it. So we have this on like our.
Imagine vlogging with one of those bad boys.
And we were we're like,
they're like 20 pounds holding your shoulder.
That's what they used to be like. Yeah. Talk about the 90s. So
my arms would look great though. I'll tell you what.
I mean, like the whole bicep thing. Remind me to tell you guys, I actually made a horror movie when I was little that I was Michael Myers, but I don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it later.
we're gonna circle back later.
But we're going to talk
Go ahead, Jess. Sorry. Go ahead.
I know, it's okay. So basically that was it, but it was the best Halloween. So he put the python, our snake, in the candy bowl, like mixed in, and my mom has it all on tape, and like the trick-or-treaters would come to the door. It's like ding dong, and he'd open the door and he would like lower the basket down and our snake was in it. But the reactions were so good. See what I mean? You can't do these days. Someone's parents these days would throw a fit and you'd be like arrested. But
he
it was
probably
so cool.
Loved it. The python probably loved it.
I bet.
Probably.
So many kids like either ran away screaming, and then he'd be like, I'll take it out. And he would take it out and let them get candy. But so many of them loved it. Like, and I think people didn't realize at first because it was dark. So they would like reach their hand in, and our snake was in there, and then they would realize and they would freak out. And then they'd be like, oh my God, that's so cool. And they would let Pete like crawl, slither on them.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the reactions were like
That's
different. And he always, like if it was a little kid, he would like pull him out, and put him around his neck. Like Pete was very used to being handled, so like he never.
Right, I was gonna say he grew up with you guys. He's probably just used to being handled. And
all yeah, like if you took him out of the basket and like put him around your neck, he'd like just curl up and chill there. He was fine. But it was so funny. Like I just will never forget that Halloween because it was so funny watching these kids' reactions.
It was probably so many. I feel like last episode and this episode we talked about core memories. That is somebody else's core memory. They're like, this one time I went to this house.
He like
and a snake was in the candy basket.
Right, like
this like huge effect on all these kids' Halloween.
Like the head on the table. Somebody's head's on the table and they're talking to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, to someone else. Yeah, my dad created that memory for a lot of kids that year. And it was just so cool. And it was just so fun. I remember just like laughing with him. And that was the year I was Cinderella. And it was just like such a good 90s Halloween.
Oh,
and again,
I love that whole thing that you just like, you started the Cinderella
Yeah.
Now we're here.
Yeah,
and I'm like so obsessed with this whole vibe. Like we started with Cinderella and we're here with the snake. And I'm like, I feel like I was there.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad. I hope that's how I was explaining. It was just
I love that.
Like
so
the
much.
memories that I have, it was so sweet and so special, but it was so funny. And again, things that you just literally couldn't do these days. Like none of those kids ran home and they didn't get, everyone was just like so down to have a good time in the 90s. They just were. We all knew that. It was like a different time, a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Kids were out without their parents trick-or-treating. It was so different. So I'll never forget that.
I'm obsessed with that story. I'm so obsessed with that story.
That's a good story.
I love that.
Thank you. So that was my like definite, like the one memory that stands out. So
okay, so one of my favorite moments was the school that I went to at the time, my elementary school. They would do like a Halloween party like for the school instead of just the classroom. It was like the entire school. And so like there was this my mom, I've talked about, she's like good at sewing. She's also very like creative. I think I get a lot of my like creativeness from her. Yeah. But she created this like Frankenstein looking thing, and so she took like a milk jug and made a Frankenstein head, and then like the body, it was like a sheet over the body, but then like there were bowls in there, so you could reach your hand through the cloth and it was like grapes or like spaghetti or jello. Really? And like you could just like you know, you're like touching all this like stuff that feels gross, but you can't really see it, but you can like feel it.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I know.
My dad was like dressed up and he was wearing scrubs. I'll insert a photo because I do have a photo of this.
Like, these are like pockets in the costume. Like, hang on.
So so it's on a table, like laying down. It's just like this thing, and it's like a white sheet over what would be the Frankenstein body, but like with little spaces in between, like a little split.
That's so cool.
I love it.
So my dad is like dressed in like scrubs, and like his face is painted white. He has like these glasses on with these crazy eyebrows, and he like looks like this like crazy doctor. And like
so good.
That to me just like stood out so much because it was fun because it was like a big like Halloween party, but it was also my parents that were involved.
That's so cool.
And like my mom to this day, she always talks about like, she's like, you remember when we got home? Stop like touching, like I'm a very like
sensory.
I think that I like the spaghetti with mush by the time I was done with it, because I was just like, this feels so crazy, but like so they had it
cold spaghetti. That's cool.
Oh my God,
that's one of my favorite memories, because like my parents were both involved, but it was also like it felt really cool, and like I think that would be cool if I have kids at some point to do something like that. But you know, I don't know. With the times we live in, I don't know if that's cool to do anymore, but like, I loved it.
No. I love your mom. Side note, Sierra. Love your mom. Go ahead.
I love her too.
Like, I'm going to cut us off.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, well, low battery mode. I'm trying to cut us off because.
You said I'm going to cut us off and your screen was black.
All right, everyone. So that wraps up episode 2, which I'm so excited about. We're doing this, guys.
Me too. I love it.
So this is episode 2, part 1 of the 90s Halloween. We're going to wrap it up here. We're going to have a few other episodes coming up. Sarah's going to touch on a few things. And then we will have a part 2 where we dive more into like the pop culture, kind of things we wish were still relevant from the 90s Halloween times. Things like that. We have so much more to talk about, you guys. We have so many episodes planned. So I want to personally thank you quickly for watching. I'm going to send it over to Sierra. We're going to talk about next week's episode. And we got some good stuff coming up. Go ahead, Sierra.
Okay, so we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear paranormal stories from you. We want you to send them to the winecovenpodcast@gmail.com. And it can be anything, like even if you think it's like a little minimal story or an experience that you've had, like we'll love it. We don't judge here. This is a very safe space, as we mentioned earlier. And we're excited to hear from you guys. We're excited to hear from you guys, and we just want to hear like some cool stories.
We want to hear any stories you guys have in the description box down below. I always have our Instagram handles, our personal ones, things like that. I will also leave the email account for the Wine Coven. Again, it's just the winecovenpodcast@gmail.com. Please send us any stories you have. We're going to take turns reading them here on this channel. We talked last episode about how we really want this to be like interactive, and that's one way that I think we're going to try to do that monthly. So
absolutely,
email us anything and we will read it. And I'm going to jump to Corin to kind of take us out of this episode.
All right, I got two for you. All right, so here we go. First one. What's a vampire's favorite fruit?
I always want to answer them. I'm such a Virgo. I'm like, let me think. I did this last week. What is it?
Give me something.
A vampire's favorite fruit.
Favorite fruit.
Oh my God. Tell me why Capri Sun is the only thing I can think of, and that's not a fruit.
Damn it, it's a drink. What? Fine. Nectarine.
These always make me feel stupid.
Nectarine. All right.
A what?
Nectarine.
That's really good. I love that.
Sorry, I was late.
Second one. Okay. You have to get this one. Why is it so easy to fool a vampire?
Something to do with mirrors?
I was like, because they're gullible. It's got to be something like about, but then I'm trying to make it vampire-ish.
Come on. You're almost there, Jess.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Because they're suckers.
Because what?
Because they're suckers. You're welcome. That's all I got.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I love ending the episode like this. So on that note, thank you guys endlessly for being here and for all of the support. We cannot wait to be back again next Wednesday with another episode. We love you guys so much. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It would mean the world to us. And yeah, let's do one more cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers, witches.
On the way out. All right. We love you guys, and we will see you next Wednesday.